Thank you Prime XBT for sponsoring this content. Prime XBT offers Bitcoin trading, S&P 500, gold, silver, forex, and more. They offer 50 plus assets for you to trade from. They also offer leverage and they do not require KYC. And the best part about it is you can trade all of these assets against Bitcoin. You can create an account by clicking the link in the description. After your account is created, go to the promo code tab on the left and enter code CryptoUB for a 50% deposit bonus. That's a 50% deposit bonus. You can go right here in the top right corner after you created your account, deposit to wallet, promo code, type in CryptoUB, click activate, and you'll get a 50% deposit bonus. That means if you deposit $1,000, use code CryptoUB, you'll have 1,500 tradable dollars on Prime XBT. Thank you again, Prime XBT. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the morning scan for October 14th, 2020. In this video, I'll be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe an altcoin or two. Firstly, I wanted to go over my Bitcoin range, my different support and resistance levels, why I chose them, etc. So firstly, I just want to note out this little low time frame range right here. I think it's pretty significant for further price action on a lower time frame, of course. I chose my range low. I guess you could classify this as this swing high right here. And I like this swing high because we put in the high after the pump, right? Swept that high very quickly and then kind of bled down, chopped down a little bit. It was resistance once more here, another pullback, swept all these lows. Then we went right back up and flipped this into support. So I really like this area as just a little low time frame support and or resistance. And up here I have a range high based on this breakout point right here and this swing high. You can see we consolidated below that breakout for a couple hours before breaking out. Did not stall at this resistance after the breakout, and then after that we just broke right through it, so it wasn't support on the way down. So I would be interested in taking profit on a long position right around that previous breakout point, just because that's going to be untested resistance, right? So I like that for a take profit on a long, but that's just generally why I have those lines there. And then for that green box, I have based on the 4 hour right here, this consolidation period before the move up. My general argument going into yesterday, and I guess a little bit of today, was that we clearly had a nice breakout, right? Significant move. And I believe that we shouldn't really not bounce from the previous consolidation period that led to a move up here, just because of the current trend we're in, right? We should at least see some sort of bounce, which I guess you could argue already happened, but I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about it, but I just want to go through my range here quickly. And then my real range is based on, I believe I started on the weekly. I took this swing low and this swing high. And this is just what jumped out at me because of the swing low here. When I extended it right, I saw a lot of action in there on a weekly time frame, all the wicks and bodies here. So I thought that area was really interesting. And then this swing high here, I like this wick here, these bodies right here. And then when I extended it right, I saw some action up here. So then my next step was to break this down onto lower time frames to see if my range actually does make sense. And as you can see, my range high does make a lot of sense. We don't spend much time above the range high at all. So I think that's pretty significant. Breaking down to the daily, we can see the same thing, right? Very clean rejections from that range high. Range low, same deal, support and resistance flips everywhere. So this is a pretty valid range to me. And of course, the equilibrium is just 50% of the trading range. So I just took out my fib tool, extended it from the top and the bottom, got 50% of my trading range. And I believe that's everything for my trading range and how I came up with it. So now what we're seeing on the 4 hour is we swept all these highs, and we did bounce from the previous consolidation period. Really nothing crazy. I would have thought we would test the local highs again. So something like I don't know, I guess the bounce we saw, but just continued to grind up. Something similar to that, which obviously we're not seeing. We saw a pullback pretty quickly after taking some liquidity here, which I believe I mentioned. So now it would make sense for me if we saw some sort of spike down just to get this lower liquidity. And now basically both sides will be tapped on a low time frame liquidity basis. So I believe after that we would just start the grind right back up. But if the equilibrium fails, then we'll be going lower to like 11.1 and then 10.9 or something like that. But for now, let's just focus on the lower time frame stuff. And I believe that is everything I wanted to go over for Bitcoin. I'm still bullish. Dips are definitely going to be for buying. Don't forget about the high time frame view on all of this. Everything still looks totally fine on a high time frame basis. So definitely don't be too panicked, I guess, for, if there's any pullbacks. And let me just put this screen up for 1 second while I pull out another chart. Okay, and I am also in a Tron position, which I will show right now. My Tron position, I've averaged it down a little bit, but just about 0.027, which I think is totally fine. We're seeing some rejections on the 12-hour, but we are still holding the series of higher lows, lower highs, and we're compressing in that formation, which is a pretty good sign. So I'll be adding more on a real breakout of this triangle, but for now, I think it looks decent. We're holding this 4-hour block right here. Actually, I believe it's a 12-hour block. Yeah, this 12-hour block right here we're holding. So everything looks fine. We're just chopping around because of Bitcoin. So nothing really too significant going on with Tron, but I just wanted to update you guys on that position. And another position, I know it's the AFK screen right now, I'm just pulling up the next chart, but another chart that I have been interested in buying dips on is the link chart. Let me put the right screen back on. Okay, the link chart I think is pretty interesting right now just because of that little Bitcoin pullback. The 12-hour looks pretty ugly, but a few things to note is that first of all, this chart is really clean. I've gone over it a few times on my Twitter. Right, this range overall is just really, really clean. I really like this price action a lot. And what we're seeing is, right, this resistance bounced from this previous swing high, this resistance here. We have now reclaimed that resistance as support. Let's drop it down to the 4-hour so you can see that a little bit better, right? Reclaim that. So now the next step for me to enter would either be on a real 12-hour close back above 11.1 or so, or if I miss that, I'll take a position above 11.7. And if I were to take a position above 11.7, I would target probably, where's 13.3? Yeah, I would target these untapped highs right here. So the final goal for any long position I enter would be a move towards like 1385, these untapped highs right here. That would be my real target. I'm not saying it's going to stop there. I still like a continued move up to like 1550, but we have to take it one step at a time and see the reaction after taking these highs here. And this is also a significant support and resistance flip. So we could just see the same price action we saw right here, right? Fell down a bit, flipped this support and resistance into support, and then we continue grinding up. So we'll see what happens there. That's definitely something on my radar, but I believe that's everything I want to go over today. If you guys have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.